Yeah, my name is Magny and I'm 51. I started getting symptoms probably in the summer of '09. Sort of slight, pains, having problems going to the toilet, things like that. And I didn't really do anything about it to begin with because it's something you hope go away. But then in the autumn, it was getting a lot more severe. And because my uncle had had bowel cancer earlier that year, I was quite aware of all the symptoms. My symptoms initially were basically I had really, really bad stomach pains. When I was going to the toilet, it was very, very painful. And I've got a radiator rail in the bathroom, and I was sort of hanging on to that. And I have actually described this as worse than childbirth every time I went to the loo. And so I went to my GP, and initially did blood tests and stool samples, but none of them really showed anything up. He decided to send me off to the hospital for a colonoscopy. Went for the colonoscopy, and that day when I went, I really hoped they wouldn't find anything, but I had this idea in the back of my head. But I was still quite shocked when they came back and said there was a tumour in the bowel. Initially they said they would have to operate within the next few weeks and then look at other treatment. But as it went on, I had to go for scans and other tests and things like that. And I went back just before the week before Christmas in '09, and that's when I actually got the cancer diagnosis. I went 5 weeks for radiotherapy, and that was combined with chemotherapy tablets. And I'd heard a lot of other people's experiences with it and how the chemo and everything was affecting them, but to be honest, I didn't really suffer that much. I got very tired towards the end, and I had one emergency dash to the hospital when I thought I was having a heart attack in the middle of it all, but it actually turned out to be nothing. I then had a loop ileostomy, so I had a bag, which was a bit of a pain, but it was bearable. And they, because they'd actually put the stoma in the wrong place, well, the surgeon had, not where the nurse had indicated it should go, I was having a lot of problems with it, and because of that, they actually got me back in after 9 weeks to do my reversal. So I was very lucky I got that done very, very quickly. The first few weeks was horrendous. I didn't really get out of the house much because basically I had to be very near to the toilet all the time. But over time it's all settled down. And I went back to work in mid-September. And although I still have the odd days now when I do suffer having to go to the toilet and things like that, and it's really if I've eaten something that I react to that I'm not quite ready for yet. But on the whole, it's not been too bad. Anybody who basically suspects that they might have any of this or have any symptoms, obviously the first thing is to go to your GP, but also to talk to your family, talk to your friends, and use them, because most people want to be there to help. And I know from what my friends have said, they feel quite helpless if they don't know about it. So it's important, and just tell them everything, and don't hold anything back because you think you're going to upset them, because it really doesn't work, because they just worry. Personally, I think they just worry more if they don't know. So just give them all the gory details, basically. I've probably handled getting cancer and getting through it quite well. Must be honest, I don't really know why. I just think it's just the way I am. As long as I know everything, because I'm quite practical, if I know everything, then I can deal with it, and if I know what's going to happen. And the day I got the diagnosis, I did actually say to the consultant, you need to tell me everything, what's going to happen, I need to know every detail. And he said, well, most people don't really want to know all of that. So I said, well, I do. And I said, if you don't tell me, I will be researching it myself. And he told me not to do that. So I said, well, you better tell me then. So I did actually see all my scans. I saw everything. And I had a book of questions, which he was quite surprised by, which I had compiled over the past few weeks. If you got as far as watching me speaking for ages about bowel cancer now, you're obviously looking for information. So, I mean, what I did and what you should do is, have a look around the website, I know there are various numbers that you can call, and the support you get through the phone calls is really good. You can also email and send messages, and say go on Facebook because there's a link there, and it also puts you in touch with not just the people at the charity, but also other people who are going through the same thing as you probably are going through now, and you get support from them, and you can, and it works both ways. They support you and you support them. In the end, I think I was very lucky that it was picked up by my GP, that he was very sympathetic, and that he really sort of thought about the family connection and sent me for it, because my initial test results weren't sort of conclusive of anything. It could very easily have been left and say come back in a few months, by which time it could have gotten a lot worse. And although in theory it was still stage 3 cancer because he had gone through to the lymph nodes, it was right at the beginning of stage 3. So I suppose, yeah, I consider myself very lucky to still be here.